Welcome back. In my last video, we talked about the Democratic Party and the problems that they're having and how it seems that the ideas that they're supporting are going in one direction while the main electorate is going in the other direction. And why are they doing that? And I want to just continue today with a couple of new thoughts that I think you're going to find interesting. So why is the party keep moving left right now when we know from polling that the center, which is what wins elections, not the far left, is what elects people. And what we're finding out here and what we're seeing is the polling trends versus the party messaging are really opposite right now. The gap between activists and voters and general election voters versus primary voters. We really have to look at a combination of these things to understand what's going on. Ben Shapiro on Monday in his show made a very interesting point on this exact topic. It was funny because I was watching his video and I thought, did he see my video? Because he's talking about exactly the same thing and the same talking points that I had in the video the other day. It was pretty funny. So he was talking about, made the point about political incentives matter more than the polling. And that means that the politicians respond to who can hurt them politically more than who can help them. And when in the primary elections, what you have in the primary elections is you usually have in the primary elections the most radical people voting and the most radical people out there pushing their agendas. And that's where candidates tend to react, because for the same in the Republican Party, the Democratic Party, if a lot of these guys don't advocate for what I consider and are progressive ideas, or even further left than progressive ideas, they will get primaried from the left until somebody gets elected that will espouse their ideas, these activist ideas. So that's a big part of what's going on right now. Primary voters are more ideological, where it's a lower turnout, but they're very motivated. There's no question about that. Activists shape the message, and the biggest fear for many politicians is not losing the general election; it's losing a primary. Progressive primary challenges and activist pressures, as I already mentioned, are the reasons that you are seeing so much of this seeming so far away and so not where we want the party to be. Certainly not where I would think that the party should be at this point. Activists shape where the party should be. The activists shape the message. Activist organizations, social media, outrage cycles, and ideological media ecosystems really have an impact. And I saw somebody today, a famous rabbi, on with that girl from Australia. I want to say Dion, I think is her name, talking about Tucker Carlson. And they were talking about that while everybody focuses on Tucker Carlson online, that's not the general public, and that's not how the general public feels. And I think that we lose sight that when we see that the social media outrage cycles happen and the activist organizations' ideological media ecosystems are loud, that's not necessarily the public. That's not the general public, but the people that vote are the people that are online, that are seeing that messaging, that are activists, that are louder voices, and they are dominating the conversation. And moderation gets attacked quickly, and that's why you see on the left in primaries them being so much more to the left than we want. Politicians adapt to activists' expectations. Moderate voices do exist, but they aren't leading. You may see them on MSNBC or MSNOW now, but you don't see them online. You don't see them being reposted, and that because that's not where the outrage cycles are. It doesn't matter right or left. What you see online are the outrage cycles, the ones who are the loudest and to the furthest to the sides, far right or far left. It's very hard to get people's attention online. On X, for example, if you're in the middle, you're a centrist, as we are, and you want just logical politics. You can't gain anything. So you get people like Alyssa Slotkin or Jared Golden or Marie Lusenkamp, Perez, but you just don't see them a lot. And they're not the voice of the party. You may see them as we get closer to general elections, but you don't see them for the primaries for sure. The pragmatic voices exist, but they are not the public face of the party. The party rarely elevates them nationally. As I said, you do start to see them when national elections are coming up, but not before. They're not the voice, and you don't see them on X. But there's another issue right now that I do want to talk to, and that is Iran. The messaging, the political messaging is one thing, national security leadership is another. The Iran conflict feels very messy right now. And I'm sure that you feel it's very messy right now. It feels like we have an unclear direction in Iran. We have a confusing message coming out both from the president and from the Pentagon, and a lack of obvious strategy seems to be the flavor of the day. There just seems to be no strategy whatsoever, and we're reacting to whatever is happening. People want clear leadership when we go to war, when we send our troops somewhere. And we're not getting that from the White House. From the White House, you're getting different messaging coming out in the same day from the president. That which confuses the public, and it makes uncertainty about the goals. So you trust what you're being told less and less. And consistency builds confidence, and we're not getting that right now. From Donald Trump, certainly we're not getting it. He's all over the place, and he really doesn't even feel like he even is sure what's going on in the war. And is he even updated half the time? Which you even wonder where he is. Pentagon also is in turmoil, and there's leadership changes that have happened, as we know. Hegseth fired a lot of people. There's officer turnover. There's internal disputes. He's pushing very hard on bringing Christianity into the troops. That seems to be more important than war planning and all these other things, and getting rid of trans people and gay people. And, he has his whole agenda inside there, and it doesn't seem to be strengthening the Pentagon. It seems to be very ideological. And the military planning requires continuity, and it seems like there just is no continuity right now. And he definitely has damaged the continuity since he's taken over, with all these people that he's thrown out and all the changes he's made. There's just no way the continuity can be as strong as it was before. And then it gets even worse, because the war requires clear strategy, and Americans support wars when the strategy is clear and confidence grows when leadership appears organized, and define objectives and consistent communication. But right now it feels reactive, and I'm going to tell you, some public perception issue is reacting to events instead of leading them, an unclear long-term strategy. Today, it was just announced U.S. wounded. Reported from the attack the other day in the hospital is more people than we were told originally. So the Pentagon lied about it originally, and now we're finding out there's at least 30 people still in the hospital, and some with a brain injury, some burns, and will be in the hospital longer than Hegseth has come out and had told the public. So he's not even being honest about what's happening, and that's just going to further erode confidence in this war. And when you don't have confidence in the war, if you remember, if any of you are old enough to remember the Vietnam War, back then, that's what drove the U.S. to finally pull out. And here we're only in there for a couple of weeks, and I think you're going to see people start pressuring the government to get out. And we don't want to get out at the wrong time or under the wrong circumstances. And this may just be another big embarrassment for not just for Trump, but for America. And just yet another one that Trump has caused. public perception issues, reacting to events, as I said, escalation, uncertainty, and confusion about end goals. We don't have any end goals. Nothing has been stated to the American public about what our goals even are. We have no clue what the idea is, what they want. Obviously, we're not having regime change. That wasn't even impossible at this point. It might have been possible if we went in January when the demonstrators were being slaughtered, but it's too late now. And now the new guy put out a message today for the first time. He still hasn't been seen on camera, but supposedly he has a broken foot and some cuts, but he's not deathly ill and he's not going to die. While his wife and his father and mother, the Ayatollah, and I think maybe his son, were all killed in that attack where the Ayatollah was killed. The son is going nowhere, and he's a bigger hardliner than his father was, and he's much more ideological, from what I understand and have read, than his father was, which makes him even more dangerous. And now that we've attacked, you've hit this beehive, and you've made them very, very angry. And I really think that without serious American leadership and without some plans, which none of us are hearing about, it feels very unsettled right now. And it feels like we've made this huge mistake. And it doesn't feel like the American, not just leadership, but even what we're doing there is well defined enough for us to have taken on this endeavor. And I'm not against having done an endeavor like this. And seriously, the first day or two, I was a little bit more for it, but I'm shocked at this point at how little the strategy seems to be, and how little the planning seems to be, and how undefined things seem to be. And honestly, that scares me for all the reasons I've already said. Political leadership and national security leadership are just lacking at this point. Americans want clarity, competence, and direction, and we're not getting that right now. So right now, many voters feel like they're not seeing enough of that. It's not just voters, it's just the American public, and wanting America to do right and be strong. And it just feels, unfortunately, like we're in some type of huge mistake that we're seeing, that we're right in the middle of, and just seeing it happen right in front of us. Anyway, please make some comments down below about how you feel how this war is going, or anything about the Democratic Party that you may disagree with that I have said. And I will see you on the next video. Please like and subscribe. It really changes the algorithm. And I've had a number of new subscribers, which I appreciate, and thank you very much. And I will see you on the next video. Thank you.